Right, here we go. Right. Make sure I've got myself organised for today. It's good to be back. Been an emotional week, but it's good to be back with you guys. Right. Let's get another podcast done here. Welcome back once again to another episode of the Moore Army podcast. Hope you're all doing well out there, guys. It's good to be back after a week or so with no podcasting or vlogs on the YouTube channel either. We did put one out yesterday though, that we did record yesterday. But yes, we are back for another episode. Hope you're all keeping well as always out there, and thank you for taking your time out of your day to tune into this podcast or program, whatever you want to call it. I'm sitting here on a Thursday morning, my favourite day of the week, Thursday, which you all know by now if you're a regular listener of the podcast. This is my favourite day of the week. Beer day, I call it. I like to have a few beers and chill out and whatnot, so you all know the score by now. But anyway, yes, we are back for another episode of the Moore Army podcast. No matter where you're listening to us right now, on Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Apple Music, or on YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, don't forget to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel below. Thank you very much for taking the time once again out of your day. But anyway, yes, guys, I'm back for another podcast. We've got plenty to talk about today. It's been a bit of an emotional week for me personally over the last, I'd say 5-6 days especially. I did explain yesterday on the YouTube channel and my social media feeds where I posted videos explaining to you guys why there has been no videos and on the YouTube channel, and also no podcasts. Last Thursday I was if you haven't saw, I'll tell you now. Last Thursday was completely mad, busy. And then when I finally get round to having a bit of me time, as I always do on a Thursday night, I didn't have enough time to record a podcast because I was so busy. And then I got some unfortunate news over the weekend there. So I decided to take Tuesday off because I was just trying to wrap my head around what was going on. But it's been a bit of an emotional up and down few days. But I've tried to keep myself focused. And yeah, it's been quite of an up and down last few days, but I'm over that now and I'm trying to refocus again. It's just as of lately, guys, I've been kind of busy with work and the kids and other things going on as well in my life, and now I've managed to sit down over the last couple of days and say, right, I need to get this changed because people are wanting content. They want podcasts, they want videos on YouTube, and I'm not delivering as much as what I used to, so I need to get my schedule jiggied about and get myself organised. Okay, yes, YouTube and podcasts are not the bee's knees of my life, as I enjoy doing. I've said this many times on the YouTube channel. It's a hobby, but I enjoy doing. But yeah, I do miss making as many videos as what I used to, and podcasts every Tuesday and Thursday. So yes, I've got myself reorganised. Finally, I've said this a couple of times over the last few months, but finally now I've got myself organised where I'm saying, right, I need to start making more time for this, because at the end of the day, it's the followers who've been following me for years and the family for years, they're used to getting this regular content, so I need to get my finger out and get my schedule changed and get that back out again. So I've been trying to rejiggy things the last few days, and I've done a vlog yesterday, guys. You want to go and check it out? It's on the YouTube channel, the Moore Army YouTube channel. Lewis and I were on the search for, fucking Prime again. Prime drinks. He's looking for these bloody Prime drinks again. He's doing my bloody head, but we'll talk about that shortly. But anyway, guys, yes, we're back. I'll tell you more what happened to me over the last couple of days in just a wee sec, but I want to obviously get the housekeeping out of the way, as I like to do at the start of every podcast every week. So if you are a regular listener to the Moore Army podcast, you probably know how to get in touch with the program now, as a lot of you do every week. But if you're new to the podcast, whether you be listening to us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or TuneIn Radio. So we've got a lot of followers on TuneIn Radio. We get a lot of emails from people who like listen to us on TuneIn Radio, which is great. So nice big platform to be on. And if you want to get in touch with us, guys, you can by the following methods. Email, which is moorarmypodcast@yahoo.com. Also, you can get in touch with the social media feeds, which is the first of all, the Facebook page, which is Moor Army YouTube channel. All the updates of the vlogs and all the stuff going on there, you can get on there too as well. Please like the page. A lot of people like posts and follow stuff and share stuff and send in DMs and stuff like that, but they don't actually like the page. You don't understand that. Also, you can contact me on Instagram, which is official Matthew Moore on Instagram. Which a lot of you contact me more, actually, sometimes more than email. Which is great to hear from you all every week. I love hearing from you. But yes, official Matthew Moore on Instagram. Also, guys, some news in relation to the merch. The summer merch should be released next week. That's right, it's coming. Speaking to a guy there on, what day are we on? This is Thursday, so it was Monday. And he fired over some more designs for me and open sentence for weeks, but the summer merch is coming. And I'm going to be wearing some of it actually on my summer holiday this summer. Check out me going on my holiday, walking down the street in my cool Moor Army merchandise. Some of the stuff actually is pretty cool. But anyway, we want to get some merch from the podcast or merch from the Moor Army YouTube channel and more. You can go and check out all the videos from all the YouTube channels we have and more. It's moorarmy.co.uk. Right. What's been happening to me before I get into some of the stories today? Some of the stories I want to talk about today is just fucking boogaloo. Like some of the stuff that I've seen going on. Now, guys, you know on these podcasts, which a lot of you wanted me to do more than normal. Some of the things that I talk about on here, I do get a lot of fucking easily offended morons coming in every week saying, oh, you offended me and whatever. So if you are easily offended, or if you're sitting there, waiting for me to say something offensive so you can contact me, you're better off switching off the podcast now, because this is just going to get to the point where I'm going to just say what I feel today. So if you're lighthearted or easily offended, please switch off now. So, but anyway, and here, I got a really cool message last week from before I get into the subject at hand today, and also what I was up to. A friend of mine who's a regular listener to the podcast made a very good point to me last week, and I want to actually give him a shout out again. His name's Mark, and he's a really cool guy. He's like me, no bullshit, no filter, doesn't give a damn. And he said to me, why do you have to explain yourself to these trolls every week? Fuck them. Let them sit there and try and cancel you. Screw them. He sent me an awesome message last week about that, and I thought about myself going, something, Mark, you're actually right. So, Mark, if you're listening, thanks very much for that, mate. I appreciate it. Not that I really have to explain myself to him, but I just love throwing the fishing rod into the water and fishing out all those wee trolls in the water and all those wee fucking woke dopes run around, fucking, as I said to you before many times, protesting and thinking the world spins around them and whatnot. So I think it's fun sometimes. But yeah, Mark, you're right. I don't have to explain myself to them. I don't. Because at the end of the day, I live my life my way, and if people don't like the way I live my life, then switch off the podcast. Anyway, some nice encouragement from our regular listener, Mark. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed your time at the motorbike racing this past weekend, because I saw some of your stuff on Instagram. Yes, a lot of people were down at motorbike racing here in Northern Ireland recently, and I saw some really cool videos. I actually wouldn't mind going to that sometime. See what it's like, just experience it. But anyway, nothing be bothered on. I'm going off subject here as usual. Oh, when you haven't been podcasting for a few days and you've had a really shitty week, then obviously, But anyway, moving on. What have I been up to before I get into the subject at hand this week, guys? I've had a pretty up and down week, to be honest with you. I got the unfortunate news this past week there, that one of my long-time friends who I've known since I started my first job back in the day of 1997, a friend of mine by the name of Cecil, unfortunately passed away this past weekend. I've actually got to know his son over the years as well, who's called Cecil too. Cecil Jr. his name is. I met this guy back in my first job when I used to work in a furniture warehouse back in the day of 1997. He was really one of the first sort of like male work colleague, man who's experienced in life people I ever really met. He took me under his wing. I was working in the warehouse with him. He was just this, old school, hard working class, no back doors, no bullshit, no filter type of man. When I first met him, he had always had his hair cut short, nice, clean shaved with a well groomed mustache. You know, he was always well dressed, and he was very smart, and he was very, you know, switched on when it came to the world. He was just this typical working class, you know, hard working man who was just such a pleasure to work around. I mean, I met him when I was 16, you know, and he was such a great man. And, you know, things that he taught me at the very start of my working days when I left school was just incredible. Used to tell you the occasional wee dirty joke, and, you know, some of the stuff we got up to was just incredible. I mean, I worked there for about a year, and Cecil was this guy who used to work in the warehouse. I mean, he knew that warehouse like the back of his hand. You know, everything from the names of sofas, beds, all types of furniture, you name it, he knew it off the top of his head. And he was just, I don't know, it was always one of them figures. I mean, you know, guys in life, when you're going through your life, there's certain people come into your life that sort of ingrain in your memory forever. And Cecil was always one of them ones that come in. It's just the way he came across, you know. And he was just one of these men who, you know, it was just so much fun. We used to have banter all the time about football because he was an Arsenal supporter. I was a Liverpool supporter. And, you know, some of the stuff that he was very charming, and very, when it came to women, he knew how to speak to a woman properly, and he was always well spoken, and okay, a bit of a potty mouth like most men do, like, but, you know, when he was around women, it was always like, you know, he was like sweetheart, darling, you know, just so nice to talk to. And I don't know, he was just one of them, it's hard to explain, you know, he was always like, you know, he just knew what he was doing, he was switched on with the world, and he was just so old school. And kind of in a way at that age when I first met him, I kind of looked up to him going like, here, he's actually quite a male figure, you know, which is good. Obviously I look up to my own dad and stuff like that there, but I mean, Cecil was one of them men who I always stuck in my memory, you know. And even when I was running around with my old friend who I've talked about on the podcast here before, who's no longer with us as well, I'm going to tell you a story here. Where I live in Bangor, there used to be an old pub called the Viscount Bar in Bangor. We used to be across the road. It's no longer there anymore. It's where they've now knocked it all down and rebuilt a new big Tesco. It used to be an old shopping centre in Bangor here, and used to have a Viscount Bar. And Cecil used to bring me up to the Viscount Bar when I was like 16-ish, coming 17. Bring me in. I remember one Christmas I got a small bonus from the boss, and we all went up there for like a Christmas night, and we used to play darts, and, you know, the pints were like, fuck me, about $1.30 a pint or something back then, which is incredible compared to now. And Cecil used to bring us up and stuff, and I would never drink beer much, because obviously, you know, I was obviously, my experience, I told you before, when I was like 15, my dad used to had fucking basically whooped my ass for underage drinking. So, but I was coming towards 17, and I was out working full time and still doing a bit of education as well. And, you know, Cecil would bring you up here and say, "Do you want a beer?" "No, I'm okay, Cecil." "Do you want a beer?" "No, all right." He'd take you in, you play darts with him and stuff like that. And I remember at Christmas time we went up there as well. It was good fun, and just so many great memories with him. He was just like he was a man's man. He was a working man. You know, he was just one of these people who just, I don't know, he was always working. And then in later years, I lost touch with him for a long time, and I got to meet his son, Cecil Jr., who I ran into many a time over the years. But when it was a lot of years back there, I ran into Cecil Senior again. When I was working at Bangor Football Club, I used to go into the wee social club and stuff, and help out with their advertising for their events and whatever else, and help them out. And this guy was sitting behind the bar who had this long hair and big beard, and I'm going to myself, who the fuck's that guy there? I remember like saying to my mate, "Who's that guy?" "That's Cecil." And I went, he told me his name. I went, "That's not fucking Cecil." Cecil was always like, hair always cut nicely and always well shaved. He shaved every morning. He had a really nice, like, well groomed moustache, but it was all trimmed way in. He was always clean and presentable. Apparently Cecil lost I think it was both his parents or one of his parents, and he ended up just letting himself go. He let his hair all grow long, his beard. I mean, guys, you go on my Instagram, you'll see the photograph of him. I posted the other day after the announcement of it, when people were announcing that he had passed away, and I got to speak to him briefly again. And he sort of looked at me, because obviously that job that he was in the warehouse obviously had a lot of young ones coming through throughout the years and stuff. And I walked up to him and I said to him, "Do you remember me?" And he was like, "Of course I fucking remember you." And I'm like, "Holy shit." So got to talk to him briefly again and asked him how he was doing. And, he was obviously telling me about what happened, his family and stuff. And, I said to him, "Look, listen, I know your young son, I've run into him in his workplace a few times." And, it was nice to see him again, because he used to embark wisdom to you about, when you get to any age, you'll understand about this and that, and certain things that he would say to you, like a father figure. He would sort of like say to you, "This is what you need to do to get to this or get to that." But he passed on wisdom, like from one adult to a young lad, obviously, who's still learning, because he's just left school. And he, when I was 16, it was just ingrained in me that 16-year-old now are either lying on their ass doing nothing, playing video games all day. But in my case, it was like I was told, get a job and get the fuck out. That's what I was told, get a job now. You're not sitting around on your ass all the time. So anyway, Cecil always used to pass this knowledge on to me from experiences and stuff. Plus, obviously, he had Dad doing the same. But at this particular time in my life, my dad was always away working all the time, and I didn't see him as much because he was constantly working for the council. He was working all the hours under the sun to put food on the table. But again, Cecil was always one of them people that used to say, he used to stand there when he was talking to you, he used to move his left hand and point his finger at you while he was talking to you and give him that wisdom and knowledge about life. And he used to give you advice about how to talk to women and how to chat up girls. And he was just a genuine nice guy. You know what I mean? And a lot of people have been posting stuff all over social media all over the last few days. And it's sad, because at the end of the day, he wasn't that old of a man. I think he was maybe in his late 50s, early 60s. And he was just a really genuine, nice guy. I mean, a few people I know personally have been posting stuff on social media about him and whatnot, and saying, how much of a nice guy he was and how genuine he was. And I've seen a lot of women posting stuff about him, saying how much of a gentleman he was. And, Cecil was he used to love going for a beer with his mates, and he used to be in a dart team. He was in the old bar that was talking about there a minute ago. He was in their dart team. Then he went to the Bangor Football Club's dart team. I think he was playing for somebody else as well at one point. But, you used to see his face popping up in the newspaper. He used to love his darts. You know what I mean? So, but, he was a gentleman. And unfortunately, I got the news the other day, guys, that he had passed away. And, it's sad, because in the last couple of years, a lot of people who've meant a lot to me in my life have passed away. So I'll take a wee drink here. I'm on the good stuff this morning. I'm on the pure orange juice. Bit of a health kick today before I have a few beers tonight. But anyway, I've had a lot of people who've been very monumental to me in my life in the last lot of years have passed away, and it's been difficult. There's another one gone who was very inspirational to me in my life. Obviously, last year, towards the end, last October, I done a podcast on one of my good friends as well, Frankie Wilson, who passed away, who was a big feature of my life in local footballs. If you probably know, guys, if you're a regular listener to the podcast, you'll know I told the story last October. If you want to go back and listen to the episode, you can. People who don't know out there, I work in local football as a media officer, and Frankie was one of them guys who brought me in at the start of my football career and took me under his wing and said, "Right, listen, you're in my football club now, where I'm a manager of, so anything you need to help, create you as a media guy, whether it be an interview, learning your interviewing curves, how to do a proper interview. You want to interview me every week after every game, that's fine. Interview players, etc., etc." Frankie was one of them people who helped me at the start and was very was one of them people who really helped launch my career in Irish League football. And unfortunately, he passed away with cancer there last October. And Lewis and I went to his funeral in Belfast, and it was just one of those experiences that was absolutely fucking heartbreaking. I mean, I sat at that service crying, and I just couldn't. He was just one of them people. And then my best friend passed away in 2016. He passed away out of nowhere too as well. And now, another one of my people who always stuck in my mind growing up as a young boy has now passed away as well, being Cecil. So it's been a very emotional week, guys, to be quite honest with you. I'm still waiting to find out when the service is going to be, because funeral services are normally like a week or two after, which sucks. So, and I was talking to a friend the other day. She lost her daddy last week, or 2 weeks ago. He passed away all of a sudden out of the blue, and I don't know, it's just when you get people in your life, guys, who mean a lot to you, even if you don't see them for years and years and years, people always have that ingrained a moment in your brain or your life, and you never forget it. And then if they pass on or something bad happens to them, or it takes sick or whatever, it affects you because those people really, really, really made up a big, like a moment in your life, or they were part of your life at one point that stand out. Now, obviously, you meet loads of people throughout your life, and you forget about people and whatever else there. But there's only certain individuals that come into your life that always, stick with you in your brain. And then every so often, like I'm a type of person, I would sit here sometimes, and if I'm sitting, say, on a Thursday night with my beer, I won't keep mentioning that, but it's funny because, it's like whenever you had a few beers and you're sitting there and you remember the things when you were a kid and remember the things and all that there. The thing about me is, guys, when I get drunk, I either fall asleep, get all mushy, or I sit and have a wee sing-song and talk about the good times. That's what I do. And other times as well, normally, when I'm sitting at home or you're out and about, you think somebody just pops in your head going, oh, I wonder what they're doing. Nowadays, I haven't seen them for years or whatever. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, whatever. But that Cecil was one of them people, because it was during my journey from leaving school and getting into the big bad world as trying to become a young man, an adult, and he was one of them people that done that for me. You know what I mean? Whether passing on his knowledge or wisdom, whatever. And it was great to have that time with him. And unfortunately, now he's no longer with us, which is sad. So I just want to take the time now to send my thoughts and prayers to Cecil, his son, his daughter, his wife especially, who I only ever met a handful of times over the years. His son is just like him, such a nice lad, Cecil Jr. So I'm hoping to get to the service when I find out when it's going to be. But it's so sad, guys, this is the thing I keep saying about this all the time. Life is so precious, and life is so, it can be taken away in a heartbeat. And you look at the world the way it is now, with all these fucking Looney Tunes running around, like, wanting to be offended over stupid shit, and people, acting like complete knob-ends, and all this fucking crap that's going on in the world right now. And then you look at that and you go to yourself, all this shit's going on, and you should be appreciating life. Let people live their life the way they want to be, and let them do what they want to be, and whatever else. And spend time with your family. Do things with your partners, your kids, whatever else. Because at the end of the day, guys, life can end just like that. You know what I mean? And I come on here every week to talk about things in the podcast and whatnot, and I flick through all the news that's going on in the world throughout the week and stuff, and I'm going to myself, this world is going fucking boogaloo. You know what I mean? I was actually visiting Mum and Dad yesterday before I went out with Lewis yesterday afternoon, on a very rare day off. Or morning off, sorry, should I say. And I was just sitting there and I was saying to Mum, this world is going bonkers. It's even got worse since fucking COVID. I reckon they all sat at home during COVID and just went, let's make this up and let's make that up, and this should be this way and that should be... They should be living their fucking life and enjoying their life, instead of like going around trying to cancel people and ruin their lives and trying to make miserable things happen to other people. It's bullshit. And I've learnt this more as I've got older. You know what I mean? And again, going back to talk about Cecil there, Cecil used to say to me all the time, treat people with respect, but if they treat you like shit, don't let them be part of your life. And I used to think to myself, oh no, I never listened to that. Certain things he taught me back then that I remember now. You know what I mean? And it's just like, again, going back to what I said a minute ago, certain people in your life just do certain things for you and help you. Or, as I always say to my son and daughter especially, don't ever stop people from opening doors for you in life, because when it comes around again, you can open them same doors for other people in your life, whether it be your children or a friend, or help somebody out. At the start when I was young, I'll be the first to admit, guys, I was a stubborn big shit. I was miserable because of obviously everything that I went through, as like being bullied and everything else, and I was frustrated and annoyed, and I never spoke up about it and stuff like that. And there was times where I never let people open doors for me, and I wanted to kick those doors open myself. But again, it doesn't make you any less of a man to let people open doors for you to help you at, say for example, in a job, like to enhance your career or whatever, or do something better for you in your life, because you can return that favour for someone else, whether it be your own children or a work colleague or a friend or whatever else. So if you're out there now listening and someone you think to yourself, no, I want to open that door myself. If that person opening that door for you to give you something better in life, whether it be success in your job or your life in general, let them do it, because you can return the favour. As the old saying goes, if you're nice to people, nice things come back to nice people. So I always said to my kids, let people open them doors for you, and I'll be honest with you guys, for a long time, up until about the last 5 or 6 years, I was so wild up, so uptight, and I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I'll be honest with you, and again, I know for a fact if the likes of Cecil or my friend Richard was still here today, they'd probably say to me, calm yourself down. You gotta let people open doors for you and stuff. And again, I always, especially with Lewis reminds me of me at that age, all, wild up, emotional. He's just reminds me so much of me. And I've always said to him, Lewis, it's the same for Brooke in her young working career. I always say to her, if people want to open doors for you to let you move forward in life, let them do it, because you can return that favour to them later on in life, or to other people. You can help other people. And it was something like that I was always ingrained on by my friends. So it was nice to see the outpour of, messages and stuff that I got about Cecil over the last week or so. And I just thought I'd mention him briefly on the podcast today, because he's just one of them figures in my life that is now no longer here. And it's really, it's sad, and I feel sorry for his children losing their dad. 'Cause guys, you all know recently my dad had a health scare with a wee small minor heart attack, and at the end of the day, I'm dreading that day whenever my parents are no longer here anymore. And it's crazy the fact that life can be so precious and taken away. And I at the weekend there, I had a few friends around, or I had a few friends around for Saturday night for Eurovision, which I'll talk about in a second. But I had a video call with a friend of mine recently, and he was saying to me, Matty, you've been through so much shit this past couple of years, like losing friends and losing family members, and your dad having a heart attack, and people, good friends of yours passing away, and relationship breakups and all that shit. He says, how and over the last lot of years, especially, like your divorce and custody battles for your kids, and all the other stuff you've been through. He says, how the fuck are you not like hanging from a lamppost or not found dead somewhere or something like that? You know what I mean? And again, guys, you learn these things as you go along. You learn how to adapt. And I've learned recently, all the shit that I've been through, no matter what life throws at me now, I just take every moment as I can, and I try and enjoy my life as much as I can, especially with my kids, because at the end of the day, life's too precious. There's another one gone now with Cecil being away now. Guys, life's too fucking precious. So it is. But in closing, it's sad to hear Cecil's no longer with us, and I want to pass my condolences on to his wife and family, and I'm hoping to find out, hopefully before the end of today, or maybe even tomorrow, when his service is going to be, because I really want to go and pay respects to him, because at the end of the day, for the little bit of time he was in my life at the start, and the times he's dripped in throughout the years, he was a bit of an influence for me, especially in my early days when I was only a 16-year-old boy. And I want to thank him for it, because he obviously, some of his advice has obviously helped me through my times in life, still to this day when I am 41. So, Cecil, take it easy, my friend. When you're up there with the big man in the sky, have a cold beer, kick back, relax, and obviously thank you for everything you've done for me as a young man, and Godspeed. Well, what else have I been up to since the last time I spoke to you guys? Well, I want to first of all congratulate our 121s football team from Hartlepool Welders in Belfast on capturing the Championship Section A league title last Friday night. Lewis and I were there to capture the best moments of the night, so I want to congratulate my friend Mark, who's the manager, and all his boys in the squad who won the league, their league title section, and they will now move on to a playoff, which they will play the winner of Section B, which will be another big day for Lewis and I. We're going to head to that there and cover that for them for the TV channel and whatnot as well. So, yeah, big congratulations to them. What a great night. I was doing it. It's actually one of the most fun interviews I've done in a long time. I was starting to interview the boys, and the boys come in, other boys come up from behind the camera and soaked the manager and the players who were being interviewed and stuff, and it was just a great night. So it was for the boys. The boys have played some excellent football throughout the season, so I just want to give a big shout out to them. What else have I been up to since the last time I spoke to you? My goodness me, I've just been... Oh yes, this past weekend, was the Eurovision Song Contest. For anybody out there who listens to Eurovision, or watches Eurovision, it was in the best city in the world, Liverpool. And I must say, I'm going to tell you a short story about this, because Lewis and I, as you know, were over in England a couple of weeks ago. We were in Liverpool, Wigan, Chester and stuff like that. As you all probably know if you've watched the videos back from the trip. Go back and watch them, actually, because Chester is a beautiful place, and so is Wigan. You want to go back and check out the vlogs on the YouTube channel, you can. We're on my YouTube channel. They're available on there now. You can go and watch them. See some beautiful things, especially Chester. Chester was a beautiful place. I want to go back there as soon as possible. It was great to watch Eurovision from Liverpool. Bit of a disappointing thing though, because here's a story to it, guys. Brooke and I, Brooke's been watching Eurovision with me since she was no age. It was like a wee yearly thing me and her used to do when she was a wee small girl. We used to sit down and watch Eurovision every year and laugh at all the funny songs and the songs. And I remember when she was like 5, she used to laugh at the songs that weren't in English. She used to go, "Daddy, what are they singing?" It was like, oh yeah. Now she didn't watch it last year with me because she was doing things with Loverboy. This year she watched it with her boyfriend's sister, which was kind of heartbreaking because I wanted to watch it with her this year. But it was held in Liverpool, and me and Lewis and I were, when the tickets were first launched, I went on to have a look at the prices of tickets and stuff. It was absolutely fucking horrendous. Like, some of the prices of tickets were scandalous, especially even for the semi-finals. The last night we were in Liverpool, Lewis and I went for a wee walk around the docks, and I said, we're walking past the M&S Bank Arena right outside it, and I says, "Lewis, do us a favour, son, we go on to Ticketmaster and have a look and see if there's any Eurovision tickets left." No, maybe they released a few more or whatever else. And Lewis had a look, and he says, "Dad, look at this here for the grand final." I says, "What's that?" He goes, "On the 13th of May. I says, "Yeah. Look at the price of one seat in a VIP box." And he handed me his phone, and I looked at it and went, "Holy shit, £45,000 for a ticket." I was like, what? Seriously? I mean, for that price, you'd expect to get a free Rolex watch, a car, fed like a king, and watch the show. But like 45 grand for a box ticket, and I'm going, and no wonder people say, and countries say they don't want to host Eurovision because it costs too much money. Now the normal seats on the floor apparently were like £500 and £600 a ticket, which is just fucking insane. And that's why a lot of countries tried to avoid hosting Eurovision because of that, because it was so expensive. Now, don't get me wrong, whenever the Eurovision Song Contest comes into a country or a city of a country, it does generate a lot of revenue, which obviously Liverpool has benefited from. But the actual price of a ticket was just fucking unbelievable. And I promised Brooke I would take her to a Eurovision Song Contest one time. Now, this year's contest was obviously, whenever we were there, they were starting to put stuff out for Eurovision and stuff. I saw some really nice stuff, but the week before the show, they built these big stages right outside the Liver building, and they've done all these different things. We're holding outside concerts every night, and all these different things they were doing for Eurovision. And then the actual night of Eurovision itself, which was just incredible. I thoroughly actually enjoy it. Most years I sort of look at it, and some of the songs are just crap. You obviously get one or two that catches your eye. And then obviously you cheer on the UK, and if Ireland gets there as well, you cheer on them. But you know what I mean? It was supposed to be held in Ukraine this year because of the war going on at the minute in Ukraine. They ended up moving it somewhere else. The UK put a bid in for it and they got it. And then cities put a bid in for it in the UK, and Liverpool were picked. And I'll tell you what, Liverpool done a fucking great job of it. It was a great show this year. Some odd songs in it as well, but it was great. And they brought back some of the old Eurovision winners that had a bit of a Liverpool connection to them, the likes of Sonia and all the girl. Oh, it was just great to watch. I've actually thoroughly enjoyed it this year. I had a couple of friends round on Saturday night to watch it as well. We had a great night. I had 3 or 4 beers maybe. Ended up sitting up to like fucking stupid o'clock in the morning as well. But we had a great night, and it was good to see. I'm kind of reason I didn't get to go to it this year because it's in Liverpool. I know a few friends went over to Liverpool to either be outside this arena in the big, like a big park area that opened up, because outside the area had the big stage and the screens and whatever else. It was like a whole big party the whole night in Liverpool, and it just looked amazing to be there. But I remember whenever Lewis and I were in Liverpool one time, I think it was the October Derby County game when they announced it. I think it was October they announced it or something like that. And we were checking into the apartments we were staying in, which we were staying there a few times before, and I said to the guy, Eurovision's just been announced this morning for Liverpool. What's it for an apartment here now? £1,000. I was like, are you fucking serious? So I went on to booking.com and had a look around. $2,000, $1,500, $1,600, $900, and I'm going to myself, really? Whenever Lewis and I were walking around the docks, Lewis pulled out his phone and we're having a look around. I mean, Lewis, have a look at hotels and see what the prices are like now for Eurovision. Now at the time's closer. Fuck me, it wasn't even the fraction of the price. It's unbelievable. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it this year, and it was a great show. UK didn't do very good this year. It was won by Sweden. So I said to Brooke, we're going to go to Stockholm next year. She went, Daddy, I would love... Do you know something? Sweden's one of them countries I want to go to. Sweden, Greece, Germany, Switzerland is another country I want to go to. Iceland is another one I want to go to. Just those countries I want to go. I want to see Sweden, because apparently Sweden's a beautiful country. So they are, and they're a very smart country too as well. Especially during all that COVID shit, they knew what they were doing, and they got by it no problem. But apparently Sweden's beautiful. And I said to Brooke about going next year, and she's like, "Oh, Dad, I'd love to go." And I said to her, we'll just have to wait and see, because your brother and I are off to WrestleMania next year in Philadelphia, which is in normally April time. So Eurovision is normally around about May. So it's going to be a bit tight to go next year. So we'll see. But one day I promised Brooke one day I will take her to Eurovision. I promised her since she was a little girl that I would take her to Eurovision. And I actually thought this year's concert was really, really good. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of people have asked me on Instagram and stuff over the last few days, what do you think of Eurovision and all? I thought it was crap, whatever. I actually thought it was alright. I thought it was actually quite good. So it did. But anyway, I watched that on Saturday night, which was quite good. I watched Lewis and I watched the Liverpool game on Monday night. We beat Leicester 3-0 quite comfortably. Live reaction videos on the YouTube channel now as well. What else have I been up to since the last time I spoke to you guys? Not very much more, to be quite honest with you. Just sort of pattering about with work and whatnot, and just sorting a few things out and getting things ready for the house to get work done to it, which is actually starting Monday. The work's starting in our house on Monday here. We're getting a new look to our living room. We're getting Brooke and Lewis's bedroom refixed up again. My room's getting a bit of a touch up as well. And we're just getting a few things done before we go away on holiday in the summer. So, even before we go to London. Lewis and I are off to London at the end of June. So, looking forward to that. But yeah, no, it's been a pretty busy sort of 10 days since the last time I spoke to you. But before I go into the subjects in hand on the show, I just want to obviously thank everybody for their messages over the last few days as well about, obviously my friend passing away and all the other stuff, and people were messaging me concerned, why have we not put any videos out, why have there been no podcast put out, etc, etc. So guys, just want to thank you ever before I head into any of the other subjects I want to talk about on the podcast today. So that's pretty much what me and Lewis have been up to over the last few days. It's been sort of pretty busy, and again, it's just non-stop. So it is. But what have I got to talk about today? Last time I were on the podcast actually was just after the coronation of King Charles, which a lot of you have been talking about. A lot of you have been talking about. So you have. Let's talk about the news, the recent ongoing news in the world right now. What about these two fucking twats, Holly and Phil, on this morning? Apparently they're feuding, and they're not getting along as what they did, and these two make my fucking teeth itch. And I'll be totally honest with you, they really, really do make my teeth itch, as much as Meghan and Harry does, who are, by the way, in the news again today. No surprise. These two, it's been all in the news the last week or so about these two fighting and feuding, and I don't know if anybody's heard the news recently, but Philip Schofield's brother was sent to jail for being a bad boy. found guilty of being a paedophile. And you know what my views are on paedophiles, guys. Paedophiles should not be sent to jail. They should be fucking executed and tortured. Them people are just sick, twisted individuals. Phil has been in the news recently as well about, his going with some young man apparently at the This Morning crew. I don't know what's going on all about that. I've seen a few news sources talking about it. And then obviously apparently Holly Willoughby's pissed at him. And they're not happy with each other. They're feuding. And then it's come out in the news yesterday. Apparently Phil said he's not walking away from the show, and it's back and forward, bitching and banter. Guys, these two make my fucking teeth itch. Give you an example. During fucking COVID, they were sitting apart from each other and they were like, "Oh, I can't wait to hug you again. It's so fun. Oh, I cannot wait to give you a big hug." And what was it, one of them turns and says, Holly says, "I'm going to lick your face." And like, who the fuck want to lick his face? And then they were coming off the show, and then there was backstage photos of them after being on the sofa, separated apart, like with other celebrities behind the scenes. And then they were sitting at Wimbledon tennis tournament right next to each other, and all this fucking bullshit they were spewing out about everything under the sun, and all the drama and all the just unbelievable. And then the whole thing with Philip coming out as being gay and leading a double life behind his wife's back, and his wife didn't know about it, and all this. It's all fucking drama. Some of these celebrities just, seriously, they just need to be, I don't know, as I always say to my kids, stick them in a fucking wheelie bin and roll them down the hill. They're just unbelievable, them two, and they're in the news all of this week, and I just look at that and go, what the actual fiddler's fuck are these two feuding over now? They're like Harry and Meghan, who's also in the news today. Again, no surprise, apparently they've released a statement claiming that him and Meghan were involved in a near catastrophic car crash by the paparazzi, and that triggered him, like the time whenever his mum was killed in Paris and all this here. These two need to get the fuck away. Listen, they're not welcome at the minute. Look at his actions at the King's coronation and stuff. These two are an or two, just attention-seeking drama queens who need to be told where to go. I don't know how many times I've mentioned it, but then there was released this statement, and there were some awards in New York, some big high-paid probably thing they were probably paid to be there for anyway. Not that they need the fucking money with their 15 bathrooms in their big mansion they live, and saying that they're all eco-friendly, but they fly around the world in their private jet. Anyway. But yeah, this is all I've seen in the last few days is Holly and Phil and Meghan and Harry and all this other jazz, and I'm just like, really? Like, can we change the subject about something else? It's like, I don't flipping know. I really, really don't. I really, 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 really don't know any more about these two. But here, what about this other thing we saw? It's been going on the news the last week or so about this Starbucks worker who has been sacked for the way they treated a member of the public, blaming them and being homophobic. Now, a couple of you have been sent me the videos of this. Now, watch the video that the lady's husband filmed. Why this thing, as I want to say, yes, as I said at the start of this podcast, this is one of the touchy subjects, so if you want to switch off now and go and take your medication, go and sit in your wee bedroom now and go on the internet and think of someone else to try and cancel, this is your opportunity. This guy who thinks he's a woman or whatever, in my opinion, he's a dude. He was born a guy. He tries to give himself as a woman, even though he's got man bits, and he's a man, in my opinion, but he's a trans or whatever the fuck he is. I don't know what he is. Was standing screaming at this woman in the middle of a Starbucks, calling her transphobic, whenever all she said was this lady, who was another co-worker, who was a lesbian or something like that. See, I can't keep up with all these fucking people because they're like, or non-binary, whatever the fuck they were. All these people are like saying to themselves, I'm now being registered as a tree. I'm being registered as... The worst one I ever saw was this guy in America walking around saying, I'm now no longer male or female. I'm now known as Jesus. These people living on our fucking planet. But this person, what was the surname? The surname was Spain or something. Was blaming this person. And the fucking... See, if it was me, I would have uppercutted this son of a bitch. Seriously. Right in the lady's face, screaming. That was my wife he was screaming at. He or she, whatever the fuck you want to be called. I'd be over saying, excuse me, don't fucking speak to my wife like that. He was standing, clapping his hands in the customer's face. And I'm looking at that going, what are you, a fucking seal? Seriously, this person stand going, you did it, now get out, and try to grab the person to throw them out because they made a mistake. This other person behind the counter took offence because the person who this lady, the customer was talking to, looked like a fucking woman, and he obviously, or she said, this lady here was serving me. Oh, it's not a lady, it's a man. And stands smacking its hands in the woman's face. No. Now her husband pulled out the phone and recorded this for evidence. Guys, go and search the video up. It's all over the internet. You'll find it somewhere. But see if that was my wife, that fucking asshole was standing clapping like a seal in my wife's face, I'd have had that son of a bitch over the counter saying, who the fuck are you talking to? These people are going around at the minute, looking to be offended. Now, I've said this multiple times in this podcast. I have no quims or problems with whatever you want to be. If you want to be gay, or you're a man dressed as a woman, or a woman dressed as a man, or you want to go and get operations, whatever, that's fine. Do whatever you have to do. Be yourself. Go and do whatever you want. That's your life. But see, when you're shoving it in my face and I say the slightest wee thing that, oh my God, you found, and the way that stupid fucking asshole get on in that woman's face, standing clapping his hands in the woman's face, like she was a fucking dog, like a piece of shit in the bottom. And then the person, he or she, whatever you want to be called as, ran outside and tried to grab the husband's phone, aggressively, by the way. Trying to snap, and the guy's like, give me my fucking phone. Honestly, these people are, and the person was sacked because of it. Now you may think to myself, oh Matthew, you're being aggressive. If someone's going to stand and scream at you like that over something, the woman wasn't even trying to be offensive, and this person's just looking to be offended and starting screaming in your face, clapping their hands in your face like a seal, trying to physically remove you from the shop and being a complete dick, you're not going to stand there and take it. You're going to say, get you the fuck out of my face. That video actually made me really, really angry. Because, I was watching the news last night and this guy turned around and made a point, straight to the point. Listen, this is a dude dressed as a woman. And they're not going to change my opinion of what I want to say about anything in this life. He said himself, I've nothing against gays, trans, whatever. But if you're going to get in my face and start fucking screaming at me and yelling in my face and clapping your hands like a seal dog and barking and being aggressive and that, do you think I'm going to stand there and take it? Because if I stand up to you and say something to you back, I'm going to be done for being like a transgender or transphobic, or I'm going to be done as, all these different things that easily offend people. What the fuck? So, this story has now been investigated by the police. But this person, whatever the first name is, and the surname, I remember hearing the surname was Spain, this makes me more angry, they waited 11 days to make a counter allegation to the police. 11 days? Are you fucking serious? What the, if you're so offended and you feel misdone by and all, you make the complaint right away there on the spot to the police, not 11 days later, because there's a police investigation against you and whatever else. These people are just fucking morons. Now, don't get me wrong, there is people out there who are genuine, nice people and who prefer to be a woman or prefer to be a man from different genders, and they don't go around saying oh, look at me, I'm going to stick. But these activists, is the word they're being used now, are going around being aggressive. They're looking to be offended. It's like them fucking woke dopes who are super gluing themselves to roads and going around like fucking morons, and they're just looking for attention and they're looking to be offended. I mean, I see them all the time in the public. They're looking to be offended. I know people who work in the health service, work in coffee shops, work in all different sectors of the public community, and they see them coming in all the time looking for attention, looking to be offended. Listen, my opinion of it is, if that was myself and my wife standing there, and that fucking asshole standing there, clapping his hands like a seal and screaming in my wife's face, blaming her on something she wasn't doing, you think I'm going to stand there and let that son of a bitch fucking sit there and swear at my wife like that, and swear at me like that, and because if I say something back, he's going to take offence to it and cry and boo-hoo like a wee snowflake? No, I'm afraid not. Even if it was a normal man or a normal male or female, if it was a female, I would put her in her place and tell her to piss off. If it was a man and he was standing screaming at my wife, I'd be right in his face going, excuse me, who the fuck are you talking to? Get out of my wife's face now. Simple as. But it pisses me off. These people are going around at the minute and again, I'll use the word activists. They're going around saying, oh, you're offending me because you said this about this. No, look, listen, do yourself a favour. You be you, I be me. I'm fortunate I haven't had a run. If that was me having a run, I would just look and say, look, listen, here you want to be a lady or a dude in a dress or whatever else or whatever it is you want to be. That's your decision. But do not, and I repeat, do not come up here and shove it in my fucking face. Do not sit there and call my wife a fucking homophobic or transphobic or whatever the fuck you want to say. My wife looked at one of your colleagues who looked like a woman, who was a woman, and said, lady, and you went off on a fucking rant like a full-on psychopath. So I'm sorry. Do yourself a favour. Fuck off. Simple as. Just away you go. Bye-bye. See you later. But it's it's the way the world is right now. Everything's just so wild up, and people are afraid to say things now and have an opinion now, because if they do, then these fucking lunatics are trying to get... Like that lunatic I had a few weeks ago here in the podcast, saying that they're going to contact every place I've ever been to. These people must be on fucking medication or something in a padded cell. Saying that they're going to go around like contacting like Liverpool Football Club and all the shopping complexes I've ever flogged in, and because they didn't like the way I came across on YouTube, they're going to do everything in their power to get me cancelled. I'd like to see you fucking try it. But I guarantee you now, if I met that person in person, they'd be all like, I was just having like I've ran into trolls many a time over the years. It's just that I saw that the other day and I just looked at it and went, what the fuck is this world coming to? And good thing for that guy, her husband, to pull out his phone and record that. And apparently afterwards there was when the couple left, this lunatic person, Spain, whatever the surname is, broke the glass door. Starbucks have sacked them. Fair play to Starbucks. But we all know the way Starbucks are now, because they're all very woke and all that nonsense, because I don't even want to get into that, but that's true, because I see a lot of stuff about Starbucks online, especially over the last couple of years. But you know what I mean? It's just, they sacked the member staff, which I think is a great decision, because they done a full investigation, which is great. And they get rid of the member staff, because I tell you what, if I had a business and I had something like that working for me, they'd be sacked on the spot. They would be gone before they can even blink. Having members of staff treating the public like that? No, I don't think so. It's bullshit. These people are just literally taking the piss now. And for people that are listening to me now and thinking I'm being offensive, then that's fine. Switch off. But at the end of the day, I don't have a problem. If I'm walking down the street today and I see a guy walking past me dressed as a woman, which I actually saw one yesterday when I was out walking with Lewis. And did I have a problem with that? No. That's their decision. That's the way they want to live their life. 100%. But if that person was to turn around and say, oh, you looked at me the wrong way, you said something because, look at me, I'm dressed as a woman, sticking it in my face, I'd be like, whoa, dude, or lady, whatever you want to be called, I don't care. Listen, at the end of the day, you go and live your life. I want nothing to do with it. It's nothing to do with me. All the best to you. Take care of yourself. Have a good life. I haven't got a problem with that. But it's these ones are all out there and they're like, oh, give me the attention. The world spins around me. I'm a drama queen. But fuck you. I don't think so. You know what I mean? Each to their own. Live your life. You know what I mean? I think I said this before. Maybe I did in the podcast. I'm not too sure. But if one of my kids walked up to me tomorrow and says, Dad, I'm gay, there's nothing I can do about it. I'll accept it. You know, at the end of the day, everybody's themselves. But when you see people like that person working at Starbucks, a coffee shop, I'd be like, what the if I was one of my children, I'd be embarrassed. Not the fact that they're dressed as a woman, or they want to be trans, whatever. The way they're treating the public. The way they're smacking their hands. They look like a fucking seal. Like a seal. Clapping their hands like a seal. And I'm like, unbelievable. I couldn't hold my temper with people like that. I would just put them in their place. It's just so frustrating to see it. But anyway, yes, that's my opinion on it all, because a lot of you have been sending me the video and stuff and asking me if I'm no doubt I'm going to get slated for it. And to be quite honest with you, I couldn't give a shit. I'm just giving my view on it. Now, as I said to you before, I have friends who are gay. I know people who now register themselves from a woman to a man. I knew them as a woman, but now they want to be classed as a man. That's fine. If I see that person in the street, I'll say, how you doing? How you keeping? Everything all good with yourself? Yep, dead on, no problem. All the best. Good seeing you. Take care. I don't have a problem with that. It's just these ones out there, I use that word again, extremists who are just out there and they're just looking to be offended and they want to shove it in your face and they just want everything to be all about them. And that's the way this world is right now. So it is. It's just the way this world is right now. But there you go. I want to stop talking about negativity news, guys, because I want to get into some of your questions, because a lot of you have been mailing me over the last week or so, and I want to get through a couple of them today before I go. Because at the end of the day, of all the insanity that's going on in this world right now, there's a lot of yous that are actually quite nice to me on a regular basis. So they are. So, but anyway, let's go on. I'll start off today with Instagram. That's how we look here and see now. Right, I've got one here from Mary on Instagram who sent it to me 6 days ago. Mary, sorry, I'll go back to you. Mary wants to know, hi Matthew, just wanted to send you a quick question about your podcast. And before I actually do go any further, guys, I haven't even mentioned it, the fact that there's Jackass of the Week on a Thursday. There is no Jackass of the Week this week because I've been off for a couple of days, so there's no Jackass of the Week this week. Apologies for that. I haven't even mentioned there's Jackass of the Week. I do apologise. Just as I saw it here, Mary's message, she mentioned Jackass of the Week. I haven't even mentioned that, which I actually feel really bad about, but hey ho. I haven't even had time to review for Jackass of the Week. Maybe it could be that person from Starbucks. Mary just says here, hi Matthew, just want to drop me a message here. Love your podcast every week. Love the Jackass of the Week. The fact that you called it Boris makes me and my husband laugh so much. Just wanted to drop a message to make sure everything is okay, as there's been no podcast or vlogs over the last few days. Hope you and the kids are keeping well. Look forward to hearing you talk more in the future, Mary. Well, Mary, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Yes, no Jackass of the Week this week, which is sad. But yes, hope you and your husband are keeping very well, and thank you for your message. Right, let's get into I'm here from Joshua. Joshua says, hi Matthew, just wanted to let you know I was recently on a deep sea dive just off the coast of California this past month with my partner, her brother, and his wife. What an experience. You said you've always wanted to find out new experiences to do, and I recommend deep sea diving as one of those things. Some of the stuff that we saw was incredible. I'm reading, no glasses on. We brought a GoPro camera with us to record some of the scenes under the water, and what I can say is absolutely incredible. Matthew, this is one of the things I recommend you should do in your life, as deep sea diving is absolutely incredible. What a sight. Beautiful weather, clear blue waters, and the view is absolutely incredible. Just wanted to let you know about that, because you always talk about wanting new things to do, so just thought I'd give you a suggestion. Love the podcast every week, listening to it from every week, no matter where I am, as I do like to travel quite a bit. I love sticking it on Spotify, on my phone, and listening to you chat away and have a good rant every week. It's great to see a different side of you, as we normally do on the family-friendly YouTube channel. Keep up the good work. All the best. Take care of yourself. Hope to meet you someday in person. Joshua. That's a bit of a message there. Deep sea diving. Jesus Christ. Would I ever go deep sea diving? I actually think that'd be actually incredible. So it would be. Josh, do us a favour if you're listening. You said you got a GoPro camera down there. Send me some footage. Let me have a look at that. I always watch things like that on the likes of YouTube, and there's some incredible videos on YouTube. People actually in the water shooting in like 4K and 8K underwater, and you see all the fish and all of that. It just looks fucking incredible. So it does. So, but yeah, that's one thing I would actually do. I would love to do that. I think that would actually be such an experience. So it would be. Deep sea diving, I mustn't do that. I think it would be pretty cool. But thanks for your message, Josh. I appreciate it. Hope you all had a great time when you were away there. So right, let's have another one here from, we see, Mark. Mark, his surname's Admed. Mark Admed, Ahmed. We've got that right, Mark. Mark says, hi Matthew, hope you're keeping well. Came across your videos from a couple of years ago. We were at your friend's wedding in Solihull. I am from Birmingham, And I just searched up Birmingham videos and came across your YouTube video where you went to watch Birmingham versus Derby County. Okay. I'm a season ticket holder at Birmingham and would love to see you back at St Andrews anytime in the future. I know a lot of people out there ask you to come to football matches as well, but we would love to see you back at the Birmingham game. As I watched your vlog from there, it looks like you had a great seat and a great time. My season ticket, is in the same stand as you sat in, so I was probably at that game as well and didn't even realise you at the time because I didn't find your channel till now. Absolutely love your content, and the next time you're in Birmingham, give us a shout out and we'll meet up for a beer. Brilliant. Take care of yourself. I'm on the Birmingham. Well, listen, thanks for your message. I appreciate that. That was actually very, very nice. Yes, I was there a couple of years ago. From a friend who now, believe it or not, he lived in Solihull. He married a girl from Birmingham. I went over there for his wedding, and I lived at the top of my street. Chris. So, there you go. But yes, I was there a couple of years ago. That was a great day, actually. A very, very good day. When I was over there, I caught a Birmingham City versus Derby County game. I think Frank Lampard was in charge of Derby, or was he in charge of Derby at the time? I can't remember. But yeah, it was an experience and a half. So it was. Never actually got to experience Birmingham, the town, because I got a bus from Solihull to Birmingham, got off the bus, walked up the street, turned left, into the ground, watched the game, back down, on the bus, and back to Solihull. And I'd love to go to Birmingham just to experience it. So I've never actually been in Birmingham itself. Plus, I've heard there's a massive Primark in there. Was it the biggest Primark in the UK, I think? I think it is. They opened that one up there recently where there's like the Friends Cafe and all in it. I actually don't know. Couldn't tell you. Just been looking online. Right, let's do another Instagram message here from someone. Right. Right, one here from Shane. Shane doesn't have a surname, just as obviously his handle on Instagram. Shane wrote me a message here 3 days ago. Says, "Hi Matt, love the podcast. Just a wee quick question for it this week. Just wanted to know, where are you off to for your holidays this summer? Love watching all your old holiday videos and your travel videos, especially your recent ones where you and Lewis were in England a few weeks ago. Would love to meet you in person someday, as you seem a very fun and outgoing, honest, working hard man." Oh, well, thanks very much. That's the nicest comment I've had in a while. It says he's on here to say, look forward to listening to your podcast every week. Hope everything is keeping well, as there's been no podcast over the last few days. Keep up the good work. Love it when you and Lewis have back and forward banter, now especially that Lewis is older and he has more of a personality compared to what he was like back in the day when he was small. Absolutely love all your videos and all your content. Keep up the good work, Shane. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, Lewis can be quite sort of bit of more banter now, but he can also be very, very argumentative. So he did. Do you know what he was actually doing yesterday? Listen, this is off topic. We were actually sitting yesterday. You watched the vlog from yesterday. You see us sitting in Ward Park in Bangor, sitting having a wee coffee at that new wee coffee place to have. And there was all... I swung the camera around to show people there was like runners in the park, and there's people out doing fitness things, and then the other side of the park there was like a girl class of yoga and stuff. What he turned and said to me, cheeky wee shit, he turned to me and says to me, "Daddy, do you want to get a new girlfriend?" And I looked at him and I mean, "What are you on about?" He goes, "Look at all those hot girls sitting over there doing yoga." Out of the blue, and I looked at him and I mean, "What'd you say?" And he goes, "Look at all those hot girls over there doing yoga." And I went, "Lewis, what are you doing?" And he just laughed and he went, "You want to get a new girlfriend over there?" Like, you know, I was like, "Lewis, seriously?" He's just got this personality at the minute. It's just so funny. So it is. And I agree with Shane. Like, it's the banter we and him have now as well. And then he's coming up with all these teenage boy jokes sometimes. And I'm looking at him going like, "Lewis, seriously, son?" But he is at a fun age. So he is. But a bit of an annoying age sometimes as well, because Brooke went through it when she was like 14. But that's just the way it works, obviously. Right, I'm going to do one more on Instagram before I head off into Facebook. I want to spend more time answering more questions today because, as I said, you guys haven't been on the podcast for the week or so. So, right, let's go and hear another one here from Carson. Carson, yes. Carson Blakely. It's a bit of a random name. Carson Blakely wants to know, "Hi Matthew, just recently come across your videos over the last 6 months. Found one of your old football videos from Liverpool. Also found your Redmen Football Adventures channel, and I just wanted to ask what exactly is happening to your Redmen Football Adventures channel, as you have not posted since Christmas. My dad supports Everton, I support Liverpool, and my two sisters support Manchester United. So you could just imagine what our household is like on match days. Just wanted to know what was going on with the Redmen Football Adventures channel. Are you going to continue it on? Also, are you going to be in Liverpool over before the end of the football season? If so, give us a shout out, because I'd love to know where you are, as I'd love to meet you in person. Take care, all the best. Your Scouse friend, Carson. Oh, thank you, Carson, I appreciate it. I'm sure that's a bloody fun house, having two United supporters, an Everton supporter and a Liverpool supporter. A United supporter and a Scouse friend of the Liverpool, United supporters in Liverpool. Ooh, I'm sure they got some shit over there. To be quite honest with you, Lewis and I were like 50-50 about going to the game this weekend. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. Bobby Firmino's last game, James Milner's last game. We're still, well, we could still go if we wanted to, but I don't think we're going to go, to be honest. I obviously had a chance to get tickets there last week, and I said no, and I was debating about it and stuff, and then obviously with work this week being so busy and doing other things as well. So, but anyway, yes, it'll probably be next season before we're back over again. I just love the city so much over there. Like, I really do love Liverpool, as you all probably know. But yeah, Carson, I'm sure you have so much fun in the house with your sisters being United supporters. They're Scousers as well. Didn't they get the piss taken out of them? And then obviously our family members an Everton supporter. I'm sure that's fun. I'm sure that's a lot of fun. So it is. But anyway, yes, thanks for your message. I really appreciate it. Right, let's get on to some of the old Facebook messages, and then I'll jump into a couple of your emails before I head down the road here today, guys, because got a lot on this afternoon here, and I'm hopefully trying to squeeze a vlog in today as well. Before I do one of the Facebook messages, I did say in the last podcast or the podcast before about doing video podcasts, and a lot of positivities come in from that, saying you'd love to see me record a video podcast as well as an audio podcast. Now, actually, I was looking online about getting some sort of like setup, like a background type done, because I've got a couple of I've got a couple of green screens in the house that I used to use for football, and a couple of wee things I could buy like for a setup and stuff. And I was even talking to Lewis about it, and he was like, "Well, Dad, a lot of people prefer to see the video podcast because they can actually see you recording the podcast." And I was kind of like, "That's actually quite a good idea." So, yeah, I will try and get something sorted about that, because I watch a lot of video podcasts myself. The likes of Ben Foster and Colin Geddes and a couple of people, like, I watch their video podcast, and it's good to see that natural flow reaction whenever they're laughing at something or they're reading emails or whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, again, maybe that's the thing that we should be looking into for the future. So, but yeah, a lot of you have been getting in touch with me about that, so I do appreciate that. But anyway, let's get into the old Facebook from the Mirror Army YouTube channel Facebook page. Right, let's have a wee look here and see what I've got today. Not as many as normal, but there is quite a few there, so thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. Right, let's have a look here and see. Right, Denise has sent me a message. Right, what'd she say? Hi, Matthew, just a wee quick question for you for your podcast this week. How long have you been watching wrestling for? My young son and I and my other son saw you and Lewis at the WWE show in Belfast. Now, we weren't on the floor, we seen you from the tiers looking down, and my young son spotted you, as he has eyesight like a hawk. Okay. He spotted you and Lewis on the floor and was looking around to hopefully meet you outside the arena afterwards. Just wanted to know how long you've been watching wrestling for. My boys have been addicted to it since the hour and day they were born, and absolutely love it every single week. I did show them a couple of videos from your Instagram where you were wrestling yourself back in the day, which I told them that you were a wrestler as I listened to your podcast and watched your vlogs for a long time. They didn't believe me until I showed them the videos on your Instagram. Thanks for taking your time to answer the question, and hopefully you can make my boys' day by saying hello to them, because they've been doing my head in since the WWE show in Belfast. Okay. How long have I been watching wrestling for? Jesus Christ, I've lost count. 30 odd years, maybe more. Watching it since a little wee tiny boy. I've so many memories as a kid growing up. I said this before. Wrestling was my safe place as a kid growing up. Wrestling and football, and that there basically saved my life. Growing up as a kid, being bullied quite a lot, football and wrestling was my getaway from all that, and my way of isolating myself away from all them problems I was going through as a kid. And now I watch it all the time still to this day. Wouldn't miss it for the world. I've had people laugh at me saying, what the fuck are you still watching that crap all these years later? Look, listen, I don't judge people for what they watch and what they do. You know what I mean? So, but to answer your question, I've been watching it for a very long time. I have a lot of fun first memories of wrestling, which again, as I said, helped me a lot with my mental health and stuff when I was struggling as a kid growing up, because obviously all the bullying I was going through and all the stuff that I was going through. And, it was my safe place. It was my getaway place as well, especially nowadays as well, as, with Lewis watching it more with me now as well. He used to watch it more when he was younger, as a wee kid. And then as he's got older now, he started watching it with me again. Brooke used to watch it sometimes, not so much now. She'd maybe stick her head in every so often and go, what's going on now, Daddy, at the minute, and things like that. So, but, I've watched it a long time, and I will continue to watch it until the day I stop reading. Even when I meet new people, they go, what are you watching that for? And I'm like, because I want to. And yes, I did do it for 5 years. I talked about it before. I put some videos up on my Instagram, which, again, so many great memories doing that. Not even just in the ring, just the friendships that I had and the memories I had from those days. My last physical bump. Was it my last match or was it my last bump? It was my last match maybe. Was on the day of Lewis's first birthday. So it was 13 years ago. I retired from the ring. I'd love to get back into it again. I've been asked to come back into it again multiple times. I have recently, in the last year or so, started getting that wee itch again about maybe coming back and doing a wee thing for somebody else or working for a wee company somewhere else locally or something. But I do miss it. I miss the banter, I miss the crack, I miss the fans, I miss everything else. A lot of people always ask me all the time, if you ever come back, we'd love to come and watch you and stuff. I've had hundreds of people saying they're going to come and watch me fight, which would be great. Be a connection between me and my fans as well. So, but yeah, just to finish up here answering your question, a long time. And certainly, you said about your boys meeting you and stuff like that. We'll give them a shout out for me. I'll tell them I said hello. Let them hear what I'm saying now, apart from the bad language, of course. But let me tell them I said hello, and hopefully one day I'll get to meet them in person and maybe get a photo together and have a laugh and a joke and a wee chat about wrestling and stuff. It's pretty cool. So it is. So, by the way, thanks for your question. I do appreciate it. Let's go on to another one here from Facebook. Right. Pauline says, hi Matthew, regular listener to your podcast as always, absolutely love it. Love the fact that you're on TuneIn Radio now as well, and free on Spotify too. All my friends now listen to you on a regular basis. From my workplace, we all work in a nail salon bar in Lurgan. Okay, hello Lurgan. Last time I was in Lurgan, we were beating Glenavon in the Irish Cup this year. Hey. There's 7 staff. We all listen to your podcast on TuneIn Radio and Spotify every week. Sometimes we've even played you in the salon. Oh my God, are you serious? Why are you playing me in the salon? I'm only driving customers away, never mind attracting customers. Plus I swear in the podcast now as well. They're not going to scare them away. Anyway, back to the email. We think it's funny the fact that we get to see you on YouTube as a normal loving current daddy, but on the podcast you let your hair down. And then, you're funny, she's put in brackets, LOL. Haha, no hair. Yeah, I know. But on the podcast, you let your hair down, and also you can be more of yourself unleashed. We love it. Absolutely love your point of view of all the government and whatnot. Keep up the good work. And anytime you're in Lurgan, call into the salon and say hi. I will. And she wrote the name down in the salon. So I will call down and see you next time I'm in Lurgan. Thank you for the message. I appreciate it. If you're all listening to me right now, yous are mad, the lot of yous. Why are you putting me on in a salon? Anybody listening to this right now who's getting their hair done or whatever, or their nails done, or whatever you're getting done, that salon, hello, I'll be down for a pedicure soon. I'm only kidding. Right, let's get into some of the emails before I head off down the road here, guys. Right, you want to get in contact by email, more on my podcast at yahoo.com. So you can, so there you go. Right, one here from Robert. Robert on the email says, "Hi Matthew, just wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions. First of all, I'm a big dog lover and I wanted to see your view on dog cruelty. I see it quite a lot on social media, especially around people who are mistreating animals, as myself and my family are very, very passionate about animals. I want to hear your view on this, and what's your view, not just on dogs, but on cat abuse, other animal abuse as well." Okay, we'll answer that in just a wee second. Second of all, I see a lot of people getting away with being abusive towards children and also young adults as well. I want to get your views on this as well. This is a very serious question. Thank you for taking the time to answer my question. Keep up the good work on the podcast. All the best. Take care. Okay, well, I'll talk about the dogs and animal cruelty first of all. Look, listen, here's the thing. I have a lot of views on animal cruelty. At the end of the day, it's obviously wrong, to abuse animals, whether it be physically, mentally, like not even feeding them or looking after them, whatever, or anything like that. There, it's well. But again, there's another side I look at it as well. There's people out there who have animals and treat them a certain way, and then the dogs create, like anxiety, separation anxiety. Funny enough, the dogs get really depressed and things like that. Especially in the last year or so, I've seen like animals and stuff like that, being mistreated and just left outside to rot, not being fed, being beaten and abused, left tied to the side of roads, and people treating their animals like babies, and then they create separation anxiety where they leave their property, their dog goes fucking boogaloo and barks all day and goes mad. Again, that in my opinion, is a fucking nightmare too. I mean, we've had family dogs ourselves over the years. And our last family dog, when I lived at home with my parents, was just an absolute brilliant dog. Never got any bother from him at all. He was a great dog. Hard as nails as well, but he was a great dog. That's another story for another day. But no, on that there, it's like animal cruelty is a fucking nightmare. But one second, I get another drink here. A pure orange juice I got from Lidl's, guys, is incredible. £1.19 a bottle. It's huge. And I tell you what, it actually tastes really... It's made by Naturals or something they're called. It's beautiful. So moving on to child abuse, I talk about that all day as well. Young adults abuse as well. Like violent parents. Child abuse, like for example, beating your kids, not looking after your kids, not feeding your kids. I mean, I've seen a shitload of cases over the years. Like even when I grew up in Belfast, I seen children just being basically fucked out on the street with hardly any food in them. They look like a bag of bones. Their parents don't give a shit because they're either alcoholics or they're druggies or whatever out there. And other ones like young adults abuse, like teenagers being abused by their parents, all different ways across the board, like whether it be physically, mentally, sexually, whatever it is, it's horrendous to see. All these different types of form of abuse you can get now, online abuse as well, which is another one too as well. It's absolutely fucking disgusting, to be quite honest. And there's some people out there, and this is my opinion coming from a parent, some people out there don't even deserve to be a fucking parent, to be quite honest with you. And there's a lot of ones out there who just literally have babies for the hell of it, whether it to be get a roof over their head or get money or whatever it is. That really pisses me off. You know what I mean? And being a single dad now, it's just it's hard to watch things like that. But then again, when you watch things like a parent, you watch all this abuse on children, which is horrible to watch. You hear about all these different things going on, and at the minute as well, which is I've seen quite a lot of. I mean, I don't know if it's part of the same subject or not. these mass shootings at the minute as well, killing innocent children, which is absolutely fucking disgusting. But again, it's just, I could talk about it all day. It's a great question, by the way. Thank you very much for the question. It's just hard to see when you see things like that. I mean, I know a lot of people who are big dog lovers. I know people who love cats and animals. I mean, another thing as well, it breaks my heart when you see cats, like being left on the side of the road in a bag and just left to rot. That really hurts me and bugs me. Just all these different things. Some people in this world can basically, the bottom line, some people in this world can be absolutely fucking cruel. You know what I mean? But it's just unfortunately the way the world is, and it's a horrible thing to think, and there is ways that they're stopping it. So, but what a great question. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. But my view on it is it's horrible, especially the kids, children abuse, and the young adult abuse, which is horrible. Because kids come, especially young adults and kids, come from all different walks of life, all different homes, different, whether it's you come from broken homes or you come from abusive homes or whatever else. So it's hard, when you hear all these different stories all the time, but young adults and kids and animals and all, it's just heartbreaking. So it is. But listen, thanks for your question. I do appreciate it. Let's do one more email before I head down the road for my Thursday. So anyway, let's get one more email here tonight. Let's have a look. Just do a random one here. Let's go. There we go. One here from Bob. Hello, Bob. How you doing? Bob Hardy. Bob Hardy is from London. Hello, Bob Hardy from London. How you doing? Just have a look and see what he has to say here now. Hey, Matthew. Just wanted to say hi. I noticed in your recent podcast you were saying you were coming to London. That is actually quite right. We are coming to London twice. At the end of June, early July, and August. Just wanted to say, I hope you have a great time in London. I am from the East End of London, which sometimes can be a little bit rough, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I am one of those East Side Londoners that has the accent not included as well, LOL, because I know you love the London accent. You've said it before on your YouTube channel a few years ago, which I actually have said, I love the London accent, especially like the ones in East Enders now, I think are class. He goes on to say here, hope you and Lewis have a great time in London at Wembley and also at the O2. If you need any help at all with any directions or things you need to find, please don't hesitate to contact me. I hope you and Lewis have a wonderful time in London and really do enjoy yourselves. Love everything you do, whether your podcast, your videos, your Liverpool videos, even though I support Chelsea. There you go. See, nice Chelsea supporter today. Keep up the good work, my friend. Enjoy London. All the best. Take care. Listen, thanks for that. I appreciate that. Yes, I will. Certainly, I'll ask you a couple of questions if need be. I'm looking forward to getting to London. And yes, I love the London accent. I've said it in my vlog before. It's that London. Is it East End London? It's like that sort of like EastEnders type. I love it. It's brilliant. And then when I watch Only Fools and Horses and hear all them Londoner accents and all, it's hilarious. I love it. Absolutely. I just can't wait to get to London. I really can't. I'm looking forward to getting there with Lewis for the WWE shows in June and the 1st of July, and then the AEW show at Wembley, which I'm looking forward to that too as well. So, but yes, thanks for your email. I appreciate it, and certainly if I need any questions or anything, I've got your email and I'll email you back. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to head down the road here. Sorry for no Jackass of the Week this week because again, I just haven't had a chance much to, get things organised and stuff for the podcast because obviously been off for the last few days and whatnot. So, but it's been fun being back again. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to me, whether you're listening to me here on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Don't forget to hit subscribe below, and also on the old TuneIn Radio. Add us to your favourites on them as well, because I would appreciate it. Thanks for all your streams, your downloads, your messages, your questions every week. I absolutely fucking love it. These guys are incredible. We're creating a bit of a platform here now on this podcast every week where I can sort of come on here and talk shit, and you guys listen to me and you interact with me, and I absolutely fucking love it. I love hearing from you every single week. I love it. It's like my therapy. It's like my counselling class where I can sit here and talk shit for an hour every week. It's great. I absolutely love it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go here now. So we're definitely back on Tuesday. for another podcast. If things do change over the weekend and we decide to go to the Liverpool game on Saturday, you'll hear about it on the Mirror Army YouTube channel, which you need to subscribe to as well. Check it out. We'll obviously putting out some bits and bobs where we do decide to go. But we'll probably not but we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, yes, guys, I'm going to go now. So once again, thank you for taking your time out of your day. And those girls in that salon in Lurgan, here, what's happening? Am I going to come down for a perm? Joking. I'm joking. Next time I'm in Lurgan, I'll make a point to call in and see you. So I will. Right, guys, if you're listening to us on YouTube, don't forget to hit subscribe below. Add us to your favourites and all them other platforms too as well. We really do appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend, guys. I'm going to have a great night tonight. It's beer night for me tonight, cheat day. I'm going to go out and have a beer tonight. And maybe have a wee cocktail. Just have to wait and see. Don't know what I'll have, but I'll have something. Right, guys, until Tuesday, enjoy your weekend, no matter what you're up to. Thank you for listening, and I will see you back here on Tuesday for another episode of the Mirror Army podcast. Thanks for listening, guys.